Well, that didn't work.
It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Okay, let's see.
It says we're live.
All right, we're live.
Yay!
Yay! Hey, everybody, welcome. It's Suzanne Taylor here, live for a little afternoon coffee chat with my new friend, speaker and author, Janice Litvin. And she has a new book coming out. Its official launch is Friday. That was really a topic near and dear to my heart. You'll recognize it right away and why I'm so passionate about this. Hello, Janice. How are you?
Good morning. Fine. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you about, well, your entrepreneurial journey, but what really led you to write a book about burnout?
Wow. That's, let's see, how much time did you say you had? Well, I'll give you the short history. I was doing a number of speaking assignments about stress and burnout. And one in particular said, we want to go deep. We don't want the typical mindfulness, though all of mindfulness and nutrition and sleep are all important. We want to go deep. And I said, woohoo, okay, let's go deep. I can do that. And so I created this program called Banish Burnout, Move from Stress to Success, just for this one client. And it went so well. I incorporated humorous vignettes. I incorporated breakout exercises. In 1 hour, we were able to do 2 or 3 breakout exercises and have a much richer discussion as a group about the characteristics of stress, why you react the way you do, and then how to change your reactions. And then that snowballed. And ever since then, I've been doing that presentation. And then one day, my son, the rapper, said, Mom, why aren't you writing a book called Banish Burnout? And I said, I don't know. So that was last December. And now here's the 9 months of labor has paid off.
Amazing. So it was really a workshop that you put together for one client that inspired future work. I love that, because that just shows your commitment to doing that custom work for your client.
Yes.
So how did you get to that position, doing workshops for a corporate client?
Let's see. Let me think how far back do I want to go to answer that. So I had been doing tech recruiting for about 20 years, and I loved the helping people part of recruiting. I didn't love a lot of the other technical aspects and maybe the corporate politics aspects, but I love the helping people part. And then, as all of you know, we had a recession in 2008. I had to figure out something to do. And so I decided to go spend time at the gym. I had gotten sedentary, I had gained a few pounds, so I decided I needed to lose weight. And there I found Zumba fitness. And in the summer of 2009, the same week I hit my goal weight, I became a Zumba fitness instructor, still teaching to this day, now on Zoom, of course, and still loving it. But after a year or two of teaching Zumba, I thought I need a new challenge, a new mental challenge. And so I went back to school to study the science of exercise, which included the psychology and the nutrition and the physiology and the anatomy. And I loved thinking about fitness. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And then I realized I should be talking about it. I should be talking to other people and getting other people excited. And as time went on, I was speaking about how to fall in love with fitness and how to eat healthy. And then people were responding to this. And I would always include a piece about stress, but then clients started asking me to just focus on the stress.
Well, I that so resonates with me, because that's my background too. That's how I got started. Life coaching was teaching fitness classes for hobby. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the mindset of exercise, the benefits that exercise gave me, and, watching people totally transform their just outlook on life, and so many times with exercise or anything wellness oriented, whether it's weight loss, exercise, meditation, anything wellness oriented, to me it seems like people want the quick fix. That they want, like, what's the easiest path to losing 20 pounds or
Right.
getting into your skinny jeans. But what they discover on that path is that it's really
Yeah.
all about your mindset. So how does
Right.
mindset affect how you approach business burnout or life burnout?
Well, you asked that in the perfect way. So mindfulness is a big topic,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't consider myself a mindfulness expert, but the way I've crafted my program, my workshops, and this book, Banish Burnout Toolkit, are basically about being mindful of the way you react to stress. So there's the stressor over here, and there's your reaction over here. Just because somebody cut you off in traffic doesn't mean you have to overreact and now chase them on the freeway. How extreme is your behavior? How do you react to things? How angry do you get and how long do you stay there? I
Yeah.
used to get really, really angry when something happened, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it was, big stress or little stress. And little things can explode into big things. And then I would stay that way for days and I would complain and complain and tell
Oh, yes.
anybody that would listen. And my poor family, like, are you gonna talk about that again today? And my son, my same brilliant son who suggested I write this book, as a child one day said to me, Mom, why are you so angry? And why are you staying so angry for several days? And I thought, wow, if a child can see that, look at a lot of times you need somebody outside ourselves to tell us.
Yeah,
But
but when your kid does it, oh
yeah,
my goodness, it's just like, oh, well, that is just the perfect mirror, isn't
yeah.
it?
So what I'm
Wow.
trying to help people do is mirror themselves and to
Yeah.
look at their own. First of all, somebody at work or a coworker or a boss might have said something, or you just go home feeling like, oh my God, this is so, or sadly now work and home are the same place. It's
Yeah.
hard to have that separation. If you're lucky enough, you have a room that you can close the door or a workspace, maybe you can put a blanket over it for the evening or whatever, but you come home to your personal space separate from your workspace, hopefully, and then you're set and look at how you're feeling. Are you super stressed and angry and frustrated with things that are going on? And what I help people do is dive deep into that feeling, and hopefully in the moment that you're having the feeling. If you're having a fight with somebody earlier in the day and you're in a meeting, you can't stop and do your what I call the stress audit, but you can do it later that afternoon.
That's wonderful. And I think it really resonates with me because, of all my study, positive psychology, and, studying some Stoic philosophy over the years, and it's really comes down to how closing the gap between that stimulus and response time, whether it's stress, whether it's emotional eating, whether it's, just
Yeah,
an upsetment in general, something happens with the dog, or something
right.
happens, you're working at home and you're on the computer and something happens over here that you know your people aren't screen that you're in a meeting with aren't even aware of, or your
Yeah,
phone rings, or just responding, instead of responding that so quick to judgment and anger, frustration, whatever that emotion is, really being able to flip that switch as quick as possible. um, and I love that message. I want to know how, moving forward, now that you have the book done, how are you getting out there more to help more and more people? And how can we support you in doing that?
well, thank you for asking. That's so kind of
Hmm.
you. First, I will answer that question in 1 second, but I want to
Okay.
respond to something you said and something I've been thinking a lot about. When people are very upset, think back to your childhood. Hopefully, you had a good, listening, empathetic, unconditionally loving mother, at least in some parts of the day,
90% of the time.
90%
Yeah.
of the time, right?
Yeah.
And when you came home from school and you'd had a bad day, all you wanted was a hug and back in my day, it was milk and cookies, whatever it is, but a listening ear to support
Mm.
you, the hurt child. And I believe that some people have not made the transition from that situation to their work life today. And I think that all of us really want comfort and love. But I think when we're upset and angry, we just want a loving, listening ear to acknowledge what we're saying. Even if we're wrong in the situation, we want that loving, listening ear to say, I totally understand what you're saying. I can see why that would anger you. Let's look at that, but let's also look at you. Here's where your part of it is. Here's where their part of it is. There is a way to repair this relationship or whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
It's having a good listening ear. Because I think we're all looking for love, especially in addictive behaviors. We're just looking for love. And sadly,
isn't that's kind of the answer for everything almost, isn't it? I mean, whether it's listening or, just a kind word or somebody just to hold space for you in your upsetment or your frustration, and to feel supported. And when we don't get that as humans, I think that's where that negative, rumination pattern comes in. What did I do wrong? Yes. What did I say wrong? What could I have done? And just the scenario repeats and repeats.
Yes. Now to answer the current question that you asked, I'm doing a few different things. So I'm doing more talks like this with people like yourself. And thank you so much for doing this today.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And I'm sending out books. I'm doing a giveaway we're going to talk about later. And I'm also starting it's called an accountability group, but it's not exactly accountability. And it's not really a coaching session. It's a way to get people to come together who want to work through the book together and who want to discuss some of the processes together in a group setting. So I'm calling it an accountability group just because it helps people get through the book. But it's more about a co-loving coaching environment where people as a group are helping each other.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I'm a huge fan of, prolonged book clubs, not just one meeting to discuss the book. But the last one I did was on The Gift of Presence, a mindfulness guide for women, and Caroline Welch's book. And we had 4 or 5 sessions, really diving into the 4 main topics of the book. And actually, I didn't lead it, but just those conversations that you don't have with your friends over coffee or your husband across the dinner table, right? And I think those conversations are so important, especially, I hate to be, stereotypical, but us as women, we don't typically have those deeper conversations with another mom on the soccer field or with a girlfriend over coffee. We're not really diving into those topics. And I think if we do, we feel so much more connected to our friends, family, loved ones. And thank you for doing that. I think this will really make a difference for people.
I like the way you termed it as a book club. So I attend this one book club, and it's mostly about the author speaking and maybe asking for some interactions with the chat, but it's not really a facilitated discussion. And I realized how much more I get out of events where there really is more Q&A or back and forth and people throwing out, oh, I have this situation. What do you guys think? What would you have done? How could I do this better? And so any group that wants to bring me in, I'm really thrilled about doing those.
Well, that will be really fun. I mean, I'm going to share this video today with my Facebook group, and anybody in that group, if you're interested in having one of these facilitated discussions with Janice, please comment below this video and let her know, tag her, PM her, and why don't you let everybody know how they can get in touch with you. I did put the link to your book in the intro for this video, but then you share with us how we can get in touch with you. And if someone wants to have one of these groups with you, how would they go about doing that?
There's a number of ways. You can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your favorite way to reach me. But my website is janicelitvin.com, like lit the light, vin like vino. Janice.
Oh, I like that. Very good.
Just one little quip. JaniceLitvin.com. The book page is obviously the Banish Burnout Toolkit. There are a number of ways to reach me. My email address is almost on every page, and there are different boxes you can fill in to get things or to just reach out to me or email me, Janice@JaniceLitvin.com. My Facebook book page, it's not really a book page, it's a speaking page, Janice Litvin Speaks. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. I love people to connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know how you found me so I can tie it back to Suzanne.
Awesome. Well, that's how we connected. And I've been so fortunate for meeting people via my networking group on LinkedIn and, just really embracing, this time being home, connecting with people in a different way, because I was speaking at events, at least once or twice a month before COVID. And now, embracing this different way of connecting with people, it really hasn't been that much different. And I feel actually the one-on-one connection like we did a couple weeks ago. I don't know. I feel like I know you. I knew exactly who to introduce you to, right? And I don't know, maybe it's a little better. I don't know if we'd be so bold.
Because, well, when you're in a live stand-up meeting, you've got this sea of people out in front of you, and you can only connect to the degree you can connect if people raise their hand and say something or wait till after and talk to you. But in Zoom, you've got this sea of faces. It's you and the faces. And then if you're lucky and the moderator will let people unmute and ask direct questions, that's even wonderful. I'll tell you a very short, funny story that happened last week. I did a book talk and people weren't leaving. An hour had passed, but no one was leaving. And they kept asking questions. The moderator co-host said, I have to get to another meeting, Janice, but if you want to stay, I'll make you whatever you call it, the administrator. So we stayed on. And after a while, people stopped asking questions, but they didn't leave. It was the weirdest thing. So I thought, when in doubt, put on some Zumba music. So I said, who wants to do a fun Zumba kind of stretch movement thing? And everybody did it. And I said, let's stand up. And you know how you can cue your music through the Zoom. And then we did a 5-minute Zumba routine. It was just the funniest thing. And it just made the day even more fun than it would have been. So I'm always happy to do that.
I can't wait to hear. How long ago was that? A week ago?
That was just last Thursday.
Last Thursday. So when you combine movement and learning, that increases your participants' learning by up to 50%. So I can't wait to hear how many of those people who were on that call end up reaching out to you or end up as clients of yours or just end up staying connected because you released dopamine after the learning experience. Maybe you need to make a habit of doing that Zumba class after, you have a teaching moment. I love it. Or before.
The first 3 to 5 minutes if we all stood up and moved. And wouldn't it be wonderful, a movement hour, 5 minutes of movement at the beginning of every hour or the beginning of every lesson, especially for boys who are kind of antsy or girls who are kind of antsy, how that would improve learning.
Oh,
and not
can't
just
even imagine.
The initial learning, but the deep receptivity, the deep remembering part of the learning.
Oh, now we have your next book topic.
Move to learn.
Move to learn. Live to learn to move or learn to move. Live. Yeah. Sounds good to me. I'm in.
Okay. That's great.
All right. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for connecting with me. I look forward to more conversations and hearing how your book launch went. And as soon as that link is available to purchase, I'll be sharing that with my tribe as well. And we'll get you scheduled to have a little discussion with my Facebook group really soon. And I look forward to hearing about your launch.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And of course, you are the perfect hostess. You made me feel so comfortable and asked really interesting and different kinds of
Oh,
questions. So that was more fun than usual.
oh, awesome. Well, I'm happy to do that. I love when people do it for me. And, whenever I can support another entrepreneur with something I'm passionate about and we have things in common, it's just such a win-win for my tribe members and for me as a person. So it truly brings me joy to do that for you. And thank you for doing it for me, showing up like your radiant self. And we will talk soon. Thanks, everybody, for joining in today. I will be in touch soon. Have a great day.